wonder if this sounds okay. Hey guys, so today I will be sharing two stories and I'll also get into the different stages of sleep just to explain the stories I will be sharing. So, the first story I'm going to share is going to be a fun one and it's just something I cannot explain, but it's just stuck with me. And the second one I will be sharing is a bit spooky. Both of these stories are from when I was really young. I was about 5 to 6 years of age. So let's start with the first story, okay? So this is early morning. I'm getting ready for school. It's like 6 or 7 a.m. and I've probably had my breakfast. My mom is doing my hair. Okay, now suddenly I look at the wall next to me, and this is what I see. I see a tiny, like tiny little girl dancing, and it's a shadow. This is what I see. And she's so free, she doesn't have a care in the world. She's going in spins, like in rounds. And to me at that moment, I was like, if I can see a shadow on the wall, it's probably coming from the other side. But on the other side, it was the window. So if I can see a shadow on there, there's probably a tiny figure on the window. That's how the image is being reflected. I don't know, that's what I thought, but when I looked at the window, there wasn't really anything. It was just the shadows I was seeing. So yeah, and this is the weird part. Um, the more I tried to look at it, it almost seemed like the shadow figure could understand that I was trying to look at her. And the moment like she understood that, she got all shy and she tried to hide, like almost like this, like she just kept going behind this pillar, and she was kind of like looking like, oh, like, am I still being watched, if it's okay for her to come out and dance. And yeah, and after a while it was gone, like all the little shadow I saw on the wall was just gone back to normal. I couldn't explain it. Years after, like now, um, it's funny because I kind of see myself in that tiny little girl who is dancing. Like when I like to dance, like I also like to go in rounds, and if I feel anyone's eyes on me, I also seem to get really shy and will try to kind of hide and see if there's anyone looking, if it's okay for me to come out and dance. So I don't know how to explain it, but that's the story. Okay, and now the next story. This is a scary one again. Still unexplainable, so if you're not okay with anything scary or about seeing figures and shadow figures, this is your cue to leave. I'll give you a moment. Okay, so the next story is again when I was 5 or 6 years of age. So this is where I'm going to explain different sleep stages. There's two kind of sleep, okay? So there's REM sleep and there's non-REM sleep. REM sleep is when I've got my notes right here. So REM sleep is also known as rapid eye movement because your eyes move under your lids. The brain is active, and this is also when you get vivid dreams. But there's also the other type, which is non-REM, and there's 3 stages of non-REM sleep, okay? So the first one is light sleep, okay? This is when people like they're just about to fall asleep, and this is also where people experience like vivid visual events like hypnagogic images or hallucinations. Sometimes like people may jerk or like twitch kind of, and they might, if they wake up, they might not even believe that they were asleep. Okay, so keep this in mind. Okay, light sleep N1. The next one is N2, which is like sleep spindles. This is when your body starts to cool down, your heart rate slows down, you drift further into sleep, your breathing becomes shallow and irregular. And if you wake up around this time, you will know like you are gone for a while, like you were asleep for a while. And then it's N3, which is like the deepest stage of sleep. The growth hormones are released, and body is at the lowest level of functioning. This is what happens if you have had a very physically active day. You will need this sleep. Like, then we go into REM sleep, which is the body is fully at rest, kind of like the body is paralyzed. However, the brain is active. This is when we process our emotions and memory, and this is when like we can also experience sleep paralysis. Okay, so now that I've mentioned that, every night I would wake up in the middle of the night, and the point where the moonlight would like fall, from there would be this figure of this woman, probably in like a dress, hair down, just standing there, and she wouldn't move. I couldn't see her. It was just dark, like a shadow, like just the outline. I could only see the outline, and she would just stand there. And see, I would wake up, right? It's not like I couldn't move, or it's not like I could do everything, but I was so scared. I couldn't move. I would keep pretending that like it's not happening. I would go under my blanket, but then I would also, I've always been a very curious kid, so I would keep like looking, like, is it coming? Is it like looking at me? Like, what's going on? And I would be so terrified. And yeah, this figure, I would see this figure of this woman like just standing there every night, and I think I would eventually fall asleep, but this would happen so many times. Like, this is where the sleep stages come in, because I understand when you're having light sleep, you can have like hypnagogic images, right? Which is like hallucinations. So it could be that, okay, I wasn't fully asleep, so I saw that, but I was asleep. I have fallen asleep, and this is when I was really young, so obviously my parents had turned the lights off and everything before that. Okay, so the lights are off, like it's dark, everyone in the house is asleep, and I've woken up, and then I see this figure. So it's probably not during N1. Could be REM sleep, that I am having sleep paralysis, but like I said, it's not like I couldn't move. I could do everything. I could even get out of the bed and even try to touch this figure, but I didn't have the guts. I was a baby. Yeah, that's my story. I don't know who that was. Maybe in future I'll find out or something, but if you have ever experienced something similar, please let me know. And yeah, thank you for listening. Bye bye.